Hello everyone, this is the Cupra Tavascan VZ. That's the all-wheel drive, most powerful version of the Tavascan. It has an 82 kilowatt hour battery, 77 kilowatt hours can be used. It has a 210 kilowatt motor in the rear, which is very powerful, and an 80 kilowatt motor in the front, but the combined output cannot be over 250 kilowatt. That's battery restriction, how much power you can take out of there. And today we're going to do a range test at 110 kilometers an hour. I just did 130 kilometers an hour and achieved only 285 kilometers, but it was a bit cold, 3.5 to 6.5, 7 degrees like this, and I needed the heat in the car to be at 23 degrees. The car has a heat pump and the car has 21-inch wheels on, winter tires, and 255s on all four. So my ID7, for example, 235 in the front and 255 in the rear, and this is all the same gigantic tires. And just doing a charging test, and the peak I got so far is only 129 kilowatt, but it says from 9 to 90% in 40 minutes, which seems okay, but not a high peak. And the battery temperature was at 100%. This shows it in percent, not in just a line, which is awesome. But we're gonna do this little range test at 110. It's a bit warmer than in the morning, and I hope we need less heat and we get a bit of lower consumption and a lot more range. I'm on my way and right out of the gas station, resting station, whatever, highway station. It's 8 degrees out there. I'm driving 113 on the speedometer. You know the drill. I started with 90%. Uphill the first 10 kilometers, that's why consumption is high, but 8 degrees out there. My heat is only at 21.5 degrees. My drive mode is in range, so that's eco, so less power and less heat. No heat, seat heater on or anything. We'll see how it will go. It's more busy, of course, totally normal at 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday, on a nice sunny day. I was just at 65%, still am, so use 25% of the battery, and I drove 97 kilometers. Now if I calculate right, that should be 388 kilometers of full range, I think. Average consumption 191, average speed 107 is amazing. It's busy. I had to slow down once or twice, but I also had to pass with higher speed to get by a car that was driving slower, so I don't it's not dangerous when someone with 140 is coming in the rear, but from behind. But it was all okay. I had to turn my heat setting up back to 23 degrees. It's not warm. Even though it's 9.5 degrees out, it felt cold in here. I had to heat it up in here. But I'm still in drive mode eco. I'm on my way back. I turned around. It's, what is it, 77 kilometers back. I have 148 kilometers of range. It should be 275 kilometers at the end that I have driven. I'm at 39%. What does the car say? I arrive with 18%, but I'm pretty sure it thinks I'm driving 130, which I'm not. So we arrive with a higher state of charge, that's for sure. The drive at 110 is not that different than 130. It's not. It was quiet at 130. It's quiet at 110, but not by much, because it's just awesome. Everything works amazing. I love the self-driving. Always loved the self-driving of the MEB platform. It doesn't steer around. There's nothing shaking. It's perfectly aligned. I can change it if I want to. I've turned off the lane change assist because it's too slow for me. I want to go there and drive to the other thing. It turns off a steering assist and then turns it back on. So, perfect. Consumption 196. 10 degrees and we started with 8 degrees. It's not that cold. Yeah, but it's a gigantic car with gigantic tires and all-wheel drive. Do you have some loss there? That's just how it is. But it's nice to drive, comfortable and cute. I just found that the car doesn't have massage in the seats, but it has still 3 buttons here, so 4 with the set. So you have 3 positions where you can save the seat in, but no massage. And again, I said it in the other video, we'll make a video about that. There is no button to open or close the trunk in the interior. It's only on the key and a button at the trunk door itself. There's nothing so I can open the trunk here or close it. Why? I'm an idiot and totally forgot to look at the range at 40%, where I would have used 50%, but I just did it now at 33% when I drove 217 kilometers, and this would mean 380 kilometers of range. I'm not gonna say anything. Not amazing, but we'll see each other at the end. If you need a charging solution for your trip through your country or through all of Europe, then check out Maingau Autostrom. With Maingau, you can charge at over 550,000 charging stores all over Europe. You can start your charging process with the card, with the app, or with this tiny little chip that you can have on your keychain. Check them out in the link in the description below. I arrived with 19%, drove 274 kilometers. Google Maps says it's 275. 195 watt-hours per kilometer was my average consumption. If I take the distance and what I used, percentage of the battery, I get to 387 kilometers at 110, 8 to 11 degrees. Not too much heat. It's not good, I'm sorry. Yes, 21-inch wheels and it's an SUV and it's all-wheel drive, so it loses a lot because just having 2 motors and everything. I don't know. I don't know, that seems not good. 119 kilowatt at 28%, but in a low voltage, 366 volt. But I'm gonna leave that to say anything that this is bad or good, because maybe it's very high. It keeps it pretty high to a very high state of charge. So we have to see if when I analyze the charging curve and anything. And again, we are comparing our result to other cars. I achieved in the Cupra Tavascan from 8 to 11 degrees outside temperature with the heat at 22 degrees, but not the airflow was low, and a lot of times it barely needed the heat. So I think it has of course an impact, but not a gigantic. 387 kilometers, consumption 195. ID4 GTX, I did it with 15 to 22 degrees, so warm, without heat, without AC, with 21-inch summer tires, and I only had a tiny bit less consumption and just 11 kilometers more range. So heat, again, not a lot, but still, and just 11 kilometers more range. So I think here in the 110 kilometers an hour range test we can see that Cupra Tavascan ID4 GTX, not a lot of difference. I have to see the test the Tavascan. Oh, I wrote that wrong, by the way. I have to test it in the summer and see how much difference there is, but I don't think it's that much different. It's just the weather. Against the Skoda Enyaq 85, which just has rear-wheel drive, we have a less range and higher consumption, but it was 5 to 10 degrees, which is similar, and 22.5 degrees at with 20-inch winter tires. So at 110, it seems that the Tavascan is getting better and closer to the other cars. At 130 was a bit more difference. My ID7 had the same range as the Tavascan, but it was -2, +2 degrees, 23 degrees heat, no heat pump, but 19-inch winter tires, which consume less. But my consumption was still lower, by the way, even though I had just a tiny bit more range. And the average speed, again, is very, very similar. Proud of myself. All my range test results are in a Google spreadsheet that you can see in the link in the description below. There are also my charging curve with all the cars as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below. And here on YouTube, there's also channel membership. And if you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, I have a third YouTube channel, Behind the Battery. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.